Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Ndubuisimba, on behalf of the honorable members of Enugu State House of Assembly, and indeed the staff and management of Enugu State House of Assembly, we welcome you to the hallowed chambers. We are glad to have you for you to present the 2026 budget. Your Excellency, it may interest you to know that we have prayed, and the people of Enugu are here to listen to you. We have former speakers here. We have members, former deputy governors, the chief judge, and the president of the Customary Court of Appeal, former members of the National Assembly, former members of these hallowed chambers, the State House of Assembly, the local government chairmen, the members of the Executive Council, and indeed, the entire people of Enugu. These are the people who gave you the mandate to govern them, and I am sure you have done justice to the job you applied for. Your Excellency, I wouldn't waste much of your time because we have done all the protocols. I think we are ready to hear from you if you are ready to talk to us. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And let me also, before I begin my budget presentation speech, offer my sincere apologies because there has been some mix-up of time. I understand that it was communicated that this program would start at 10, but that wasn't our understanding. So my apologies. We naturally would not like to keep the Speaker and indeed the honorable members of this House waiting. The Speaker, Enugu State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Engineer Callistus Uche Ugu, the Chief Judge of Enugu State, His Lordship, Honorable Justice Raymond Ozemene, the Deputy Speaker, Enugu State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Ugochukwu Ezenta Ezani, the Majority Leader, Enugu State House of Assembly, Honorable Johnson Annie, the Minority Leader, Right Honorable Iloabuchi Aniago, the Deputy Leader of the House, Right Honorable Jane Ene, the Majority Chief Whip, Honorable AGK Eze, the Minority Whip, Honorable Chukwuma Ekweme, the Deputy Majority Whip, Honorable Princess Obiajulu Ugu, Deputy Minority Whip, Honorable Okemba, and other esteemed members of Enugu State House of Assembly, presiding the President of the Customary Court of Appeal, Honorable Justice G.C. Nnamani, the APC Caretaker Committee Chairman, Enugu State, Dr. Ben Nwoye, and our other party stalwarts that are here, former members of the National Assembly here with us today. Let me also recognize the presence of their excellencies, the former deputy governors that are here with us today, your excellencies, former ambassadors with us here today, the Commissioner for Budget and Planning, and other members of the Enugu State Executive Council here present, the chairmen and deputy chairmen of our various local government areas here with us today, my Lord Bishops and men of God here with us today, Speaker Emeritus and former members of Enugu State House of Assembly present with us today, special advisors, senior special assistants, and special assistants with us here today. The chairman, Enugu State Traditional Rural Council, His Royal Highness Igwe Samuel Asado, and indeed other revered royal fathers here with us today, the clerk of the Enugu State House, Mrs. Ngozi Ebo, and indeed other permanent secretaries that are here with us, the security chiefs that are here with us today, our party chieftains, heads of commissions, boards, tertiary institutions, agencies, and parastatals, chairmen of labor union here with us today, members of the organized private sector who are with us today, distinguished guests, our Enugu State women, and our party women that are here with us, the youth wing of our party, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of this esteemed House, I stand before you today with profound gratitude and a renewed sense of purpose as we present the Enugu State 2026 to 2028 multi-year budget, a budget designed to consolidate our gains, accelerate growth, and deliver on our promise of a prosperous, modern, and competitive Enugu State. About 1 year ago, when I presented the second full-year budget of this administration, we were still in the early hours of a long night. The vision was clear, the destination defined, but the light was not yet visible. We could sense the dawn, but the sun had not yet broken the horizon. This past year, that changed. 2025 was the moment when the promise of our reforms became visible, when the first clear light of a new day shone across our state and confirmed that the dawn we felt was real. It was the year Enugu moved from anticipation to evidence, from hope to progress, from faith to fulfillment. Today, I am proud to report that we have made tangible strides. These gains are the product of disciplined fiscal management, bold economic reforms, and the rigor of our development agenda. They were reinforced by the diligent oversight of this honorable House. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I thank you most sincerely for your partnership, for your prompt consideration of the last budget, and for the seriousness with which you have approached these shared mandates. Your cooperation continues to strengthen the bond between the executive and legislative arms of government. And this can only be good for our people. As we approach the third year mark of our first term journey, your collaboration remains essential. It is so because while the 2025 budget yielded significant and encouraging outcomes, 2026 requires sustained action. For the average citizen walking through Ogbete market, weaving past the stalls, the dust, the traffic, the noise, the big promises we made still felt distant. A trader might have felt the pinch, but not the payoff. He would have heard talk of new schools, new infrastructure, new services. He might have felt a flicker of hope rise in his chest. But as he carried his goods through the same old bottlenecks, past broken gutters and hazardous roads, he would have also wondered, when will all this become real? When will these changes reach my own life? That was because while the reform were underway, the bolder interventions, the major infrastructure, the deeper economic shifts were still in their infancy. Some were still on paper, others had barely begun. The full picture had not yet come into view. And yet, Ndi Enugu chose to lean in, and that act of faith has been the sun on our face as we raise our gaze to the future. In 2025, the changes we made were no longer abstract. People could feel them in their daily lives. For the father driving to work at dawn, the new road network meant he no longer left home early to navigate potholes that once damaged his vehicle and drained his income. For the mother in a rural community, the upgraded Type 2 primary healthcare center meant her child could receive treatment in minutes, not hours, and without traveling to the city in fear and uncertainty. For students, the smart schools were no longer an idea on a billboard. They are real buildings, bright, digital, alive with learning. Children now walk into classrooms with computers instead of chalkboards. And for the first time, parents can imagine their sons and daughters competing with the world. For traders in Ogbete, Abapa, and Gariki, the improved security network from AI-supported surveillance to faster response units brought Monday markets fully back to life. Shops stayed open, business recovered, the streets were safe again. Across our communities, we've revived assets like Niger Gas, Sunrise Flour Mill, United Palm Products, the Hotel Presidential, together with our 200-hectare farm estate, the new land bank, and the revived tractor assembly plant meant jobs returning, higher yields, better incomes, and an agricultural sector shifting from subsistence to a meaningful contributor to Enugu's GDP. And everywhere, from Nsukka to Nkanu East, people felt the effect of a government that finally plugged leakages, strengthened public sector systems, and grew our internally generated revenue to an unprecedented levels not seen before. These achievements now form the foundation for the budget of renewed momentum we seek in 2026. In preparing this budget, we listened carefully through our citizens' engagement and community dialogues. We heard from fathers and mothers, farmers and bus drivers, teachers, traders, professionals, and students. Real people whose daily experiences now reflect the changes we have made. We also studied the global, regional, and national economic realities shaping our future. And from all this, we crafted a budget built on 4 clear pillars: empowerment and education, inclusive and people-centered development, good governance, economic transformation. And let me take you through what empowerment and education looks like. In the last 2 years, we have moved from talking about youth and education to building for them at scale. Across all 260 wards, our smart green schools are now at or near completion. Digital classrooms, devices, science lab, solar power, and modern facilities designed to prepare our children for a tech-driven world. We have devoted roughly 1/3 of 2 consecutive state budgets to education, because the most valuable resource for the future of Enugu is the head, hand, and heart of our people. Beyond the classrooms, our youth programs are creating real pathways to opportunity through the Enugu SME Center's digital skills and innovation grants. Thousands of young people are training in software, creative media, data skills, and other globally relevant fields. Others are entering practical trades through the youth technical empowerment initiatives, such as agro-enterprise, fish farming, pottery, fabrication, and other income-generating skills that allow them to stand on their feet. At Sumas in Igbano, the new teaching hospital is positioning Enugu to produce world-class doctors, nurses, and medical specialists, ensuring that jobs and expertise stay within our state. and for inclusive and people-centered development. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, our focus has remained simple and consistent. Development must reach real people in real communities. And this year, the progress has been concrete. We're now at or near completion of 260 Type 2 primary healthcare centers. Each solar-powered, staffed, and operating 24 hours a day. This means that families across every ward, rural and urban, now have access to basic health care without traveling long distances or relying on crowded city hospitals. For the first time in decades, extensive water supplies have been restored to Enugu City. The 9th Mile Water Scheme and the revived Oji River Scheme are delivering volumes of water, ending chronic shortages that affected homes, schools, and small businesses. Our road infrastructure has expanded at scale. Over 1,000 kilometers of road have been completed or fixed. Public transportation has been modernized. Our 5 new state-of-the-art bus terminals at Holy Ghost Terminal 1 and Terminal 2, Ababa, Garki, and Nsukka have been commissioned, combined with the rollout of CNG buses and the upcoming hybrid city taxi. Daily commuting is becoming efficient and more affordable. We have also strengthened inclusion. The establishment of the State Disability Commission ensures that persons with disability are recognized, protected, and supported. Good governance. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, good governance is not a slogan for us. It is the organizing principle of this administration. It is the reason we introduced the Enugu State Citizens Charter, the first in our state's history, to formally commit government to measurable service standards and to give every citizen a clear basis on which to hold us accountable. We have strengthened transparency across all ministries and agencies through the automation of our revenue systems, digital receipts, and bank-linked payment platforms. We have removed human interference and shut down leakages that drained our resources for decades. This is why our internally generated revenue has risen sharply, not because people are paying more, but because the system captures more. This year's budget builds on those reforms. We are deepening public financial management so that every naira spent is traceable, justified, and connected to real, measurable impact. Procurement rules have been tightened. Reporting requirements have been strengthened. Performance-based budgeting is now the standard. But good governance is not only about systems. It is about trust, and trust must be earned. For too long, the political pillar of our society has been weakened by broken promises and the normalization of low expectations. Across the world, we have seen what happens when leadership becomes transactional, when institutions bend and when citizens stop believing that government can act in their interest. In Enugu State, we have chosen a different path. We're deliberately building institutions that are unbreakable, institutions that do not rise or fall on the mood of the moment, the pressure of politics, or the temptation of corruption. Through transparency and a culture of accountability, we're rebuilding the social contract. We want the people of Enugu to expect more, to trust more, and to enjoy more, because they see consistent evidence that government acts with integrity. And none of these reforms could happen without security. Our government cannot earn trust if we cannot guarantee safety. From the outset, we built a tech-driven, intelligence-led security framework anchored in our command and control center, with round-the-clock AI surveillance, integrated response units, and coordinated community intelligence. We have achieved over 80% reduction in violent crime. Economic transformation. Mr. Speaker, distinguished members, our economic transformation is not the result of isolated projects. It is the outcome of an interconnected ecosystem where security, infrastructure, technology, agriculture, tourism, and human capital all work together. Over the year, we focused on strengthening this ecosystem. Because these foundations are now stronger, Enugu's economy is expanding faster and more broadly than it has seen in decades. Our current GDP trajectory puts the $30 billion target within real reach. Not through one sector, but through a coordinated push across all parts of the economy. Digitization has been a major driver. Through the Enugu Geographic Information System, land records are now fully digitized. Business registration and land transactions are quicker and more transparent. And with automation reducing leakages, our IGR continues to grow. We also unlocked new engines of economic activities: the launch of Enugu Air, the operation of our modern bus terminals, and the commissioning of the 5,000 capacity International Conference Center have brought back life into our service economy. When over 20,000 lawyers attended the NBA conference here, hotels filled up, transport operators earned more, vendors prospered, and money circulated throughout the state. Our tourism and cultural investments are beginning to show similar returns. With the ICC Hotel underway, the revitalization of Ogu Games Village, and new attractions, including Nigeria's first zip line, we are positioning Enugu to welcome up to 3 million visitors annually in the coming year. Agriculture remains a major pillar of this transformation. Our 300,000 hectare land bank, smart farm estates in all 17 local government areas, and the tractor assembly plant are shifting farming from subsistence to scale. Thousands of our farmers and young people now have access to land mechanization, storage, and processing hubs. Through the Enugu United Palm Products Project and agro-processing expansion, we are reviving cash crops and strengthening rural incomes. Looking ahead, we are doubling down on private public sector-led growth. Our industrial parks, agro-processing zones, renewable energy projects, and transport systems will all run on public-private partnerships. Our most strategic objective remains clear: to dramatically reduce dependency on federal allocations and build a self-sustaining state economy. We will grow our revenue base by improving efficiency, optimizing natural resources, and ensuring every sector contributes meaningfully, never by overburdening citizens. The budget in simple terms. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let me put the performance of the 2025 budget in clear terms. For context, last year you approved a budget of 971 billion. Firstly, the revenues. The money coming into Enugu State has grown in ways we have never seen before. From Abuja, our FARC inflow did not just meet expectations, it exceeded them by more than half. We projected about 150 billion receipt from FARC, but we received 230 billion, over 50% above projection. This is not accidental. It reflects the impact of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's GCFR bold economic reforms, the removal of fuel subsidies, the unification of foreign exchange rates, and other fiscal measures have strengthened our key macro indicators. We can see today that inflation has declined and it continues to trend downwardly. Interest rates have eased and the exchange rate has stabilized. And our foreign reserve has continued to be strengthened and recently hit over $46 billion mark. On our own end, our internally generated revenue is set to exceed 400 billion naira by the end of this year. It is not yet where we ultimately want to be, but it is already the highest IGR in the history of Enugu State, a 221% increase over the 2024 IGR. Although by the end of the fourth quarter of 2025, we would have already brought a revenue of 826 billion in total revenue. Now to the spending. We have spent 138 billion on salaries, pensions, and essential government services, which is about 92% of our planned spend for this year. And crucially, we invested 667 billion in capital projects, roads, schools, hospitals, water infrastructure, transport terminals, and revived state assets, when you put everything together, by the end of the year, we would have delivered about 83% of the overall budget. Mr. Speaker, in plain language, by the end of the year, almost everything we planned for 2025 will already be in place. This does not mean that the remaining projects have stalled. It simply means that they are in motion, with the largest ones peaking. As you know, a lot of this peaks during the dry season. So November, December is going to witness a peak of those projects in the final quarter. And then let me just give you a quick breakdown of our revenue performance in 2025. Our recurrent revenue was originally budgeted, and our recurrent revenue is largely from FAC and IGR. We had projected or budgeted 692 billion. We actually got from both FAC and IGR, we received 676 billion. And that is 97.7% performance. In our capital receipts, we budgeted 278 billion, and we actually received 150 billion. That's a receipt of 53.7%. So, in all, if you look at the total inflow, the budget was, as I said earlier, 971 billion. The total inflow that came is 826 billion, and giving you a performance of over 85%. On the expenditure side of things, we budgeted 133 billion on our recurrent expenditure. We came back to you to revise those figures. The revised figure came to 150 billion. The actual as at date, it's 138 billion. Again, giving a performance of 92.2%. In the capital expenditure side of things, we originally budgeted 837 billion. We came to you to revise that figure to 820 billion. And today, the actual spend on the capital side is 667 billion, giving a performance of 81.2%. So overall, the total budget was 971 billion, and the actual, it's 805 billion, giving a performance rate of 82.9%. Mr. Speaker, distinguished members, let me present the overall picture of our 2025 spending in clear terms. So far, we have spent 806 billion. This means we have utilized 97.5% of all the money that came into the state and achieved 83% of the total budget implementation against a revised budget of 971 billion. This is what gives us the momentum we carry into the 2026 to 2028 budget. Mr. Speaker, moving forward into the 2026-2028 budget. In the year ahead, Enugu will move from laying foundations to scaling transformation across every sector. We have built the base. Now we lift the entire system. In education, After completing 260 primary schools, we move upward into secondary and tertiary development with new smart secondary schools and technical and vocational colleges. In infrastructure, we shift from opening roads to delivering an unprecedented expansion, reconnecting communities, markets, and industry across the state. Our transport upgrade steps up sharply. The fleet grows, more buses coming in, more terminals, more taxis, more aircraft, a bigger cleaner, more organized system for our people. Tourism moves from a few upgraded sites to a full visitor economy, with new attractions taking shape across the state. Our major state assets begin to hum again, and long-dormant facilities return to full productivity. All 260 farm estates gain full traction, pushing agriculture to scale. At the center of this expansion is the new Enugu Smart City, moving from groundwork to real construction, with land and infrastructure sales set to generate major revenue for the state. The 2026 budget high-level overview. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, with these initiatives in mind, and with our commitment to keep Enugu firmly on its growth path, we have proposed a total budget size of 1.62 trillion naira. Thank you. Thank you. This represents a 66.5% increase in our 2025 fiscal budget. Mr. Speaker, the breakdown of the revenue for next year's budget. We expect a total of 870 billion from our domestic revenue, from our IGR. And we expect a total of 387 billion from our federation account revenue. And from our capital receipts, we expect a total of 329 billion. Mr. Speaker, the estimated capital and recurrent expenditure for our personnel costs, we expect our personnel costs to increase to 149 billion. And I'm sure if you look at where we were last year on personnel, what we're doing this year is basically twice more than what we had in our personnel costs. And the logic is simple. I mean, you cannot expect to use the same workforce you used to execute a project size of 200 billion to do a project size of 1 trillion. So we're going to be increasing our workforce and increasing our manpower so that we have enough human resources that would essentially deliver on these projects. Our overhead also would be about 120 billion naira. Our consolidated revenue fund will be about 50 billion naira. So our total recurrent spend will be about 321 billion, which constitutes a total of 20% of our budget. Our capital expenditure would be about 1.3 trillion. and to be specific, 1,296 billion naira, again constituting about 80% of our total budget. That brings the total budget size to 1,617 billion 397 million 465,000. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, distinguished members of this esteemed House, this very high capital allocation is deliberate. It reflects the scale of work ahead and our administration to sustain and accelerate the growth momentum across all the major sectors that we have talked about. So it reflects our administration resolve to achieve that. And I'll just give a snippet of the sectoral breakdown. We expect the administration sector to take 8% of the total budget, which is about 128 billion. The economic sector is allocated 51% of the total budget, bringing it to 825 billion. The law and justice sector will take 15 billion, bringing it to 1.54% of the total budget. The regional sector will take 2 billion, bringing it to 0.17%. And the social service sector will take 40.1%, bringing it to 644 billion. In simple terms, 2026 is the year Enugu moves from building foundations to delivering impact at scale. And now, allow me to present the changes this budget will support. The economic sector, we are allocating 868 billion, representing 61.1% of the capital expenditure to the economic sector. It's very strategic and deliberate. When we invest in agriculture, industry, and trade, we create jobs, reduce poverty, and generate revenue that strengthens the entire economy. The performance of this sector remains central to our vision of achieving a 7-fold GDP growth in Enugu State. Agriculture remains crucial to our pursuit of poverty eradication and self-sufficiency, with its potential to create massive job opportunities and expand our revenue base. Next year, we will complete the construction of all 260 farm estates. Each 200-hectare farm estate will be equipped with key infrastructure, central warehouses for produce aggregation and processing, tractor sheds, irrigation system, electricity, and water supply. Transportation. Transportation is the lifeblood of commerce. Without efficient mobility, no economy can thrive. In 2026, we will construct additional 5 new transport terminals located at Emene, Udi, Ogwo, Four Corners, and Oboloafo. To further boost mobility, we also made provision for the procurement of 2,000 sedans for our city taxis. Enugu Air continues to serve as an economic enabler and a strategic platform for our emergence as a regional hub. Next year, we will acquire an additional 14 aircraft. Thank you. Thank you. That would bring, thank you. That would bring our total fleet to 20. You may be wondering, how did that mass come about? As you know, we procured 3 aircraft earlier in the year. We have already closed the procurement of additional 3 due to arrive any moment from now, but certainly before Christmas. So we currently have 6 aircrafts. So by procurement of additional 14, it will bring our total fleet to 20. Tourism. Thank you. Tourism. Enugu's natural attractions, its hills, waterfalls, caves, and lush vegetation position the state as a natural tourism destination. We will sustain the major upgrades already underway. This includes the revamp of Ohom Waterfall and Caves, Okpatu, Nsude, and Ngwo Pine Forest, where we will unveil the first zip line in Nigeria. A similar upgrade will take place at the Akuke Sand Beach next year. Road infrastructure. Quality roads not only aid movement and beautiful cities, they drive growth. In 2026, we will pave 1,200 urban and rural roads, and a significant number of them would be our rural roads. Every local government, Thank you. Every local government area has a major road project in the 2026 budget. We will, of course, complete the 40-kilometer Owo, Obaho, Amankanu, Neike, Ikem dual carriageway, opening a new gateway to the North Central region. The dualization of Abapa-Nike, Ugwogo-Nike, Opinsuka Road, one of the busiest economic corridors, will also be completed, as we will also complete the 21.6-kilometer Enugu-Abakaliki Expressway. Thank you. At the State Secretariat, the completion of the Sea Wing will ensure that all the ministries are finally housed in one location. So we have captured in our next year's budget the completion of the Sea Wing of our Secretariat. Mr. Speaker, as you know, the Sea Wing has by far the largest number of blocks. And once we've achieved that, all the ministries that are currently scattered in different locations will be housed in one location. Housing. Over 15% of the total budget has been allocated to housing, reflecting our strong focus on mass housing. We would deliver 15,000 mass housing units next year, forming the first phase of the 30,000 units planned within our first term. The new Enugu Smart City project exemplifies our commitment to creating a world-class environment for residents, work, and recreation. Next year, we will complete its infrastructure. This project is projected to generate a minimum of 300 billion for the state government next year. Social sector. We remain committed to ensuring development reaches every citizen and every community, a central theme of this budget. Next year, we will allocate 20 billion naira to clear long-standing gratuities. Mr. Speaker, as you know, the gratuities have been a legacy debt. Over the decades, this has continued to hang on our head as government. So we're determined to clear the gratuity, and we have allocated 20 billion. We've just recently completed the verification exercise, and we now have a clear figure. We now know what the outstanding figures are, and we want to clear them. We do not want to bequeath this debt to a successive government, so we're determined to clear the gratuities. Our workers should not wait years to receive benefits they have earned. We will enhance the welfare of our traditional rulers by procuring vehicles for the principal officers, as well as increasing the salaries of all our traditional rulers. Mr. Speaker, we've also committed. We will ensure that we settle all the severance benefits of our former councillors. So we have also allocated funds for that. Education. Mr. Speaker, distinguished members of this honorable House, education holds a defining place in our development strategy. For the second consecutive year, over 30% of the budget is dedicated to education. This is a deliberate investment to secure the future of our children and build a workforce capable of attracting global investment. With the smart schools infrastructure largely in place, our focus next year shifts to smart secondary schools and technical and vocational education colleges. For us, education remains a permanent frontier. This explains why we have, in 2 consecutive budget cycles, devoted over 30% of our total budget to the sector. This is not mere symbolism. It is a deliberate investment in our children. Next year will be no different, because our greatest asset is in the head, the hand, and the heart of our people. We have boldly demonstrated this again with the 32.27% allocation to education in the 2026 budget. There are some who might look at what we spend on education and cringe. But what we spend currently on education is largely insignificant, weighed against the future social cost of having a disproportionate population of out-of-school children. When we invest in education, we're not just securing the future of our children, but we're also securing our own too, because we already know the price of not investing today in education. Our goal is to build a competitive, innovation-driven workforce capable of attracting global investment opportunity. And that would happen by making sure that our young ones are imbued with the evolving 21st century skills, artificial intelligence that would contribute over $20 trillion to the global economy in the next 5 years. Our children must be at the center of that. Healthcare. Our philosophy is simple. Where you live should not determine the quality of healthcare you receive. 10% of the total budget goes to the health sector. The construction of 260 Type 2 primary healthcare centers across all wards will be completed and fully equipped in 2026. We will upgrade 51 secondary healthcare facilities. The 300-bed Enugu International Hospital, built to provide advanced and specialized medical care, will be completed by first quarter of 2026, to be specific, by February, alongside the structural upgrade of Park Lane. So, you know, we have a twin block going up there, and we hope to complete before the end of February the structure and the equipping of Park Lane. Sports. Enugu's rich heritage and its potential for unity and economic opportunity form the basis of our renewed investment in sports. As host of the 23rd National Sports Festival, we are determined to deliver the most memorable edition in its history. We will complete the extensive renovation of Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium and the Ogu Games Village. Security. Our achievement rests on a foundation of security. Next year, 11 billion will fund the second phase of our security surveillance system, expanding coverage to areas not included in the first phase and to 12 additional local government areas. Mr. Speaker, distinguished members of this esteemed House, I'm sure that a number of people may be wondering, how are you going to fund all this? And there are valid doubts. I recognize that with a budget of this scale, caution is not only reasonable, it is essential. The first concern, naturally, is revenue performance. This year, despite strong gains, we did not hit 100% of our revenue projections. We will close 2025 at roughly 82 to 85% performance, largely because certain revenue streams could not mature until the assets behind them were completed. That is why this budget remains balanced, not deficit-driven. We have matched our ambitions to real, measurable income flows and kept our spending firmly tied to what we can responsibly generate. Next year's revenue projection is higher, close to 1.3 trillion from non-fact sources, and it is right to question that growth. But unlike last year, we now have revenue engines that were not operating before. The bus terminals, the International Conference Center, the Hotel Presidential, revived industries, and the new Enugu City, whose sales and projected revenue will be yielding us at least 300 billion once the final infrastructure phase is ended. These are not theoretical streams. They are assets already built, activated, or in the final stages of completion. Of course, the second concern is capacity, the human resources, the supervision, and the quality control needed to manage a project load far larger than anything Enugu has undertaken before. It is true, the structure built to manage 200 or 400 billion in annual spending cannot manage a trillion naira development program. That is why we must expand our workforce, strengthen oversight units, and tighten quality assurance so that as we build more, we also build well. Rapid recruitment carries risks, and we acknowledge them. But acknowledging them is how we guard against them. We will maintain a rigorous selection process and reinforce a monitoring framework that ensures transparency, accountability, and value for money. Weather disruptions is another risk factor. That would also remain a variable, as they were this year. But even with those delays, we still delivered over 80% performance because we stayed disciplined and balanced the books at every step. So yes, this budget is a reach, but it is a responsible reach, grounded in track record, backed by revenue assets, protected by strict governance controls, and built on the momentum of a state that has already proven it can deliver more than it was once thought possible. Mr. Speaker, distinguished members, the dawn we spoke of 2 years ago is no longer a promise on the horizon. It is now upon us, revealing roads where there were none, water where there was none, schools now standing in every ward in our state. And now with this budget of renewed momentum, we stand at the edge of a new day. Not for government, but for every family, every worker, every child who believes that Enugu can rise and claim its place among the great centers of growth in our nation. This is our moment to keep pushing, to keep building, to keep proving that a once overlooked state can show the entire country what discipline, partnership, and vision can achieve. I extend my deepest gratitude to this honorable House for the speed and sincerity with which you have worked with the executive branch. You have treated progress not as politics, but as a much-needed rite of passage for Ndi Enugu. And now I ask you once again to join us in stepping forward in this new day. Let us pass this budget with the urgency it deserves, so that the light we see now becomes the full brightness of the tomorrow we have promised our people. As we enter this month of December, I wish every member of this house and every home across Enugu State a blessed season of hope, peace, and renewal. May this holy season strengthen our unity. And may the year ahead meet us building the future our children deserve. Tomorrow is no longer coming. Tomorrow is here. Thank you.
stay seated.
Let's stay seated and maintain the order in the last place. Thank you very much. May I remind us that we are seated in the allocation of the Enugu State Assembly. We are expected to maintain the order.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Ndubuisimba, we once again thank you and welcome you to the hallowed chambers of Enugu State House of Assembly. Today's budget presentation by His Excellency marks yet another step in our collective journey to build a stronger and more prosperous economy for the citizens and residents of Enugu State. I sincerely commend the governor and his team in the executive arm for sustaining the vision and philosophy behind Tomorrow is Here. The governor is indeed on top of his job. I hope you can agree with me. It is on record that Enugu State ranked high for its budget performance in 2025, especially concerning fiscal viability, infrastructure development, and IGR compared to operating expenses. The records are there for us to see. The 2026 budget proposal demonstrates a thoughtful and deliberate effort to address the pressing needs of our people. Continued investment in education, strengthening infrastructure, improving healthcare delivery, enhancing security, supporting agriculture, and expanding opportunities for our youths. The contents and composition of this proposal transcends just an annual budget. Like the governor said, it is a generational foundation for prosperity. It is clear that the executive listened to the yearnings of our people and translated them into actionable plans. We, the members of the House of Assembly, welcome this budget of renewed momentum with renewed optimism. Our different standing committees shall indeed brace up and apply both speed and efficiency during our engagement with the different MDAs. When the budget is passed, we will also take our oversight functions very seriously with more momentum. Once again, we commend His Excellency for his transformative leadership, and may God bless the good people of Enugu State. Thank you. Distinguished honorable colleagues, Your Excellency, with your assistance, we have provided lavish entertainment at different points. So, we have different points for entertainment for the dignitaries. To the conference hall upstairs. Please be civil enough to know where we are provided enough, so there won't be need for any struggle for entertainment. Your Excellency, as the rules of the House requires, after the national anthem, I will like Honorable Osita Eze, Honorable Clifford Obe, and Honorable Kemba, the man representing you, to escort you to my office so that I will adjourn the House and meet you. On this note, may we have the national anthem.
That was the live presentation of Enugu's State 2026 budget estimates by Governor Peter Mba before the House Assembly.